Survival without oxygen is a scientific paradox because human life, like that of most organisms, is intricately reliant on oxygen for survival. Oxygen is a fundamental element that sustains life by facilitating the process of cellular respiration, which is essential for generating the energy needed to maintain bodily functions. When exploring the concept of survival without oxygen, it's vital to understand the process of cellular respiration. Within our cells, oxygen is used to produce adenosine triphosphate (ATP), the primary energy currency of the cell. This process occurs in the mitochondria, where oxygen acts as the final electron acceptor in the electron transport chain, enabling the production of ATP. In the absence of oxygen, cells resort to an alternate energy production method known as anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration doesn't require oxygen but is far less efficient, producing significantly less ATP compared to aerobic respiration and leading to the accumulation of lactic acid in humans. While anaerobic respiration can provide short-term energy, it's not sustainable for the body's prolonged survival. The human body can only survive for a limited time without oxygen. This period varies depending on several factors, including an individual's health, environmental conditions, and the level of physical exertion or stress at the time of oxygen deprivation. When deprived of oxygen, the brain is one of the first organs affected. Within seconds of oxygen deprivation, consciousness is lost. Brain cells are extremely sensitive to oxygen deprivation and begin to die within minutes. In around 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen, irreversible brain damage or death becomes highly likely. There are exceptional cases where individuals have survived for longer periods without oxygen, such as instances of cold water drowning. The cold water can slow down metabolism and reduce the body's need for oxygen, allowing some individuals to survive for extended periods underwater. In such rare cases, therapeutic hypothermia can potentially extend the window before irreversible brain damage or death occurs. The record for surviving without oxygen is held by some individuals who have been successfully revived after significant periods underwater due to drowning. These cases are extraordinary and do not represent the typical human response to oxygen deprivation. Successful resuscitation after 30 minutes or more without oxygen is extremely rare and often results in severe brain injury or other long-term health complications. In emergency situations, immediate intervention is crucial to prevent irreversible brain damage or death due to oxygen deprivation. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, can be administered to help oxygenate the body and maintain blood circulation, buying time until further medical assistance is available. The aim of CPR is to supply oxygen to vital organs, particularly the brain, and it can significantly impact the chances of survival and reduce the risk of long-term damage. Medical advancements and technology have allowed for the development of techniques like extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, ECMO, a life support system that functions as an artificial lung, providing oxygen to the blood outside the body. ECMO can be used in critical situations where the lungs are unable to supply sufficient oxygen to the body, offering a temporary means of oxygenation until the underlying issue is resolved. While extraordinary cases exist where individuals have survived longer periods without oxygen, it's essential to understand that these instances are rare and often involve specific circumstances or medical interventions that mitigate the typical consequences of oxygen deprivation. Even in cases where individuals are revived after prolonged periods without oxygen, the lack of oxygen may cause irreversible damage to the brain and other vital organs. Long-term survival without oxygen is impossible for humans under normal circumstances. The absence of oxygen disrupts cellular respiration and leads to irreversible damage to the body's cells and organs. Oxygen is an absolute necessity for human life, and sustained deprivation results in severe and often fatal consequences. In conclusion, while there are exceptional cases where individuals have survived longer periods without oxygen, the typical human response to oxygen deprivation is limited to a few minutes. Immediate access to oxygen or medical interventions like CPR and ECMO is critical to prevent severe, irreversible damage or death in cases of oxygen deprivation. Oxygen is indispensable for human life, and its absence leads to devastating consequences for the body's cells and vital organs.